Yes, we are working with Doordash to get $50,000 of income this year. We've got other plans, and check out our other videos and we'll explain some of those in a little bit more detail. But for tonight, we're here doing some Doordash in Greenfield, Indiana, and the weather is absolutely beautiful. It's in the low 40s for most of tonight. Now this weekend, oh my goodness, it's going to be single digits. It's going to be cold, and a whole lot of snow is coming. Maybe not a whole lot, but a little bit of snow. There's going to be a little bit of white stuff. So we want to get most of our dashing done earlier in the week as much as we can. So tonight's goal, we're working for 6 hours, and we're going to make $100. All right? So follow along, and you know what? If you haven't hit that subscribe button, why not? Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right? Well, let's have some fun. Let's turn this on, and let's see what we can do. So we just turned it on. It says that it's a 35-minute wait, but only a 2-minute wait for Platinum Dashers, which we are. Let's take a look at our ratings. I like to do that at the beginning of every shift so that we know exactly where we stand. Make sure that nothing squirrely has happened. Our rating is 99%. Our acceptance rate is 96%. Everything else is at 100. And then our shopping, which we don't have shopping turned on, but original items found 98%, original items found 90. Original items found 98%, total items found 99%. So there we go. We have completed 665 shopping orders. We've completed 3,300 lifetime deliveries. Okay, well that took a few minutes to get the first order. Probably about 4 minutes or so, 5 minutes maybe. But it is a banger. We've got $10.75, and we're going, I think, about 3 miles. We got 2 stops to make. First is Motzi's Pizza, which is about half a mile from where I am right now. And then we're going to come back to where I'm at right now to Firehouse Subs. So we'll see. Hopefully both will be ready, by the time we kind of get there. We may have to wait at Motzi's Pizza about 3 or 4 minutes. A lot of times we do have to wait just a minute or two there. Actually, I had another thought. I don't know how the audio is going to come out, but I thought we would see how the video's coming out when I flip the camera around. Now, keep in mind, this is still only attached to the rear view mirror. We'll see how this works out. Man, my windshield is filthy. Filthy, you dirty windshield. Oh, it's so dirty. Okay, I don't know if the volume is going to be good on this or not, but we...
Turn right onto Streamside Drive.
But we had to wait about 3 minutes on the Motzi's Pizza. There was no wait on the Firehouse Subs. And here we are trying this camera angle and seeing how it'll work. We're looking for... Alright, here we go. Okay, and it looks like we just have a couple of blocks to get to the next one. The drop-off of Firehouse Subs is just a couple of blocks away. And that was a quick $10.75. Hopefully we get some more. I don't understand why the clock, the date and time are wrong on the camera. I set that when I first got it. Okay, so a couple of positive things. We're sitting here waiting on an order, and I have a video which is going live here in a few minutes, but also I ordered some things for the channel here that I hopefully will improve some things. I ordered a microphone so my voice will sound a little better, and I also ordered a holder there for the camera so the camera can attach properly to the glass there on the windshield. So hopefully we'll see what those changes do for it'll probably take me 2 days because they'll arrive tomorrow, and then it'll be for tomorrow night's video, which will go live on Wednesday. But we're sitting here staring at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am the 7th Doordash car in our lot right now that I know of. Now, if I go up a little bit, there's usually a person sitting right by the KFC. So I'm going to pull a little bit farther north so I'm out of all of these other cars. Yes, there's another DoorDasher right here. I'm going to pass him right here in this white car. He's always sitting right here waiting on an order. Usually does the shopping right there. And let's see, I think there is a Burger King right there. Aldi's, Applebee's. I haven't had an order for Applebee's in weeks, if not a month or two. Yeah, well, it's probably been 3 weeks or so. All right. Oh, man. Sometimes I get a pain. And sometimes I am a pain. But I'm going to go down here to the south side. We seem to have really good luck with the south side last night. Now, for some reason, we do have Applebee's, but I've never seen an Applebee's order. I wonder if there are a few of these stores on the other brands, Uber Eats and Grubhub and things like that, and they don't do DoorDash, maybe? Yeah, I've not gotten an order since that one. We've been live now for, about 40 minutes, and it is 6 p.m., nearly 6 p.m., which is the peak of dinner. Yeah, so I don't understand why we would not be getting an order. So I'm going to go down here close to the pizza places. We get orders for Pizza Hut, Papa John's Pizza. We don't get orders for Chicago Pizza, so I wonder if they are not on the DoorDash platform, which I would think they would get quite a few orders for. You know, maybe I should check, because maybe there are certain restaurants that are not on it, but they are on a different platform. I've never really wanted to multi-app and do the other platforms. However, if there are, say, 10 of our restaurants, 10 out of our 50 restaurants that are not on DoorDash, but all 10 of them are on another platform, then maybe that might be an option. When I have slow times like this, turn on the other one and see if the other fish are biting. All right, well, we're going to go down here to the south side. I'm going to cruise around that a little bit and see if we get an order from there, because we have to make some money. Our goal was trying to get $100 in 6 hours, which is a tight goal, but it is doable as long as we get orders.
Drive north on North State Street, State Route 9.
Okay, so we just got an order, $6 for 1.9 miles, and guess where it is? It's on the south side, just as we were coming this way. It is for Los Vaqueros. I was also thinking about something. I wonder if DoorDash has tier groups. Guys that are doing the dashing and gig work, but specifically DoorDashing, let me know your thoughts. Do you feel that DoorDash has tier groups? Now, hear me out. Like a certain cluster of restaurants and a certain cluster of restaurants, not necessarily geographically, but maybe price tier or tipping tier level. Case in point, a couple of nights ago I got 3 or 4 orders from the Smashed Burgers. No Papa John's orders. Last night I got like all Papa John's orders and no Smashed Burgers. Things like that make me want to think. Because normally I don't think. No, I mean, like, why does that happen? Why do you get several runs to one particular restaurant? Or 2 or 3 restaurants? Like I was talking about Applebee's. I haven't seen Applebee's in 3 weeks. And like, I've seen Burger King only after a certain hour, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. But yet, other times I'll see Burger King 4 or 5 times. Or Culver's, or, you know, name the restaurant. I'll see a particular restaurant 3 or 4 times in a night, and I'll see like 3 different restaurants. Like, out of those 3 3 restaurants are like the focus of the night, and I'll see those 3 or 4 times. Maybe it's that every guest is ordering from those. I don't buy it fully. I mean, I understand game day, football, basketball, whatever, it's going to be pizza and wings. Those are going to be kind of the go-tos. We are only about 3 or 4 minutes away from the drop-off.
Drive west on East Main Street, US 40. Then, in 700 feet, turn right onto North State Street. Turn right onto North State Street, State Route 9.
And we had no wait at the Mexican restaurant, the Los Vaqueros.
Continue for 1 mile.
Okay, so we are up to $18.50, and we've been at it for right at 1 hour. Okay, so we just got another order, and that is a double order for Culver's and Papa John's pizza. Culver's is first, which usually is a little bit quicker than Papa John's. $12.75, going 5.3 miles. So this should be a decent order for us. So this reminds me of something I was talking about the other day when I dropped off the pizza and picked up the dog food. So I go to Culver's and we pick up 4 desserts, 4 little ice cream milkshake, concrete mixers is what they're called. Basically 4 ice creams in a cup. And then I go to Papa John's, where we always have to wait at Papa John's. It's the rarity. It's 5% of the time that the food's waiting on you. But like 90-95% of the time, you're having to wait. And I would say there's a good 30% of the time that you're waiting more than 5 minutes, if not 40% of the time. So you're waiting an extended period of time. All right, so I go from Culver's. All right, let's try to figure out how the camera's going to see this. So we go from Culver's down to Papa John's. Then we go back up to the customer, which is only about 3 blocks from Papa John's. And now we're going down past Papa John's, farther south. It's going to be about 2 miles. It's about 1.5 miles now to the Papa John's customer. So why couldn't we have gone to Culver's, dropped off the Culver's ice cream? Again, it's a difference in the routing of like 30 seconds probably, honestly. And in honesty, it's probably even better, because there was something I learned when I was working with gas stations, and that was a right-hand turn. I know it sounds stupid, but when you're driving on the road, a right-hand turn sells more gas than a left-hand turn. Right-hand turns are easier as far as traffic goes.
In
You
a half
don't
mile,
have to cross
turn right
the road.
onto Davis Road.
You don't have to cross the road and get through traffic to get to the other side. So the Culver's was a right-hand turn to go to the customer. Then coming out from the customer, it's a right-hand turn to go to Papa John's. Going from Culver's to Papa John's was a left-hand turn. Coming out of there was a right-hand, but then eventually a left-hand turn to get to the customer. Okay, and we just got back to the Doordash lot. We got an order for $9.88 going 3.4 miles. That is at Subway, which we normally have to wait just a few minutes. But it is one pickup for 2 customers. So not a bad order, and that will put us about $40 for the day at about 2 hours worth of work. And we've been working for about 2 hours, and that puts us at $40. So I'm at the Subway, and it takes a lot longer than it needed to. First of all, we had to wait. I always have to wait there. I mentioned that. A couple, 3 minutes, normally. But there was another person obviously in front of me, because he was already, getting his sandwich and getting the toppings on there. And then he went up to the cash register, got his drink, and he's ready to cash out. Well, in the middle of this cashing out process there at the cash register, the guy's talking to me, trying to get my order from the Doordash customers, and then he's trying to take care of this other person who all he needs to do is pay for his stuff so he can leave. And in the process, it's 3-4 minutes of chaos just going back and forth. And I'm like, finish this person. He's ready to go. My bags are sitting right behind you. It's obvious. I have 2 customers. There's 2 bags sitting right there. They just need to be finished and done. But in the process of going back and forth, it just took way too much time. But anyway, the handoffs were nice and easy. And now it is almost 7:30. So we're up over $40. We wanted to hit about $15 an hour, a little bit more than $15 an hour. So we're right on track. All right, we got our next order. It is $7.25 going 7.3 miles. So right at that miles to dollar ratio. And that is at Culver's. Why do I keep going to Culver's tonight? It's like Groundhog Day. We're going around and around and around. Why are we going to Culver's again? Normally there's a small wait at Culver's. I don't know what this person is doing here. I think they're just all confused trying to get in the parking lot. Okay, so now we've got another order for Culver's. Wow. Another order for Culver's. That is going to be $6.25 going 3.1 miles. Why do I keep going to Culver's tonight? It's like Groundhog Day. We're going around and around and around. Why are we going to Culver's again? Interesting. We're sitting around without any orders, and then all of a sudden, ping, we get Culver's. We sit around, no orders. Culver's. Sit around, no orders. Culver's. How is it that we are going to the exact same restaurant time and time again tonight? And you know, there's obviously a perfectly logical explanation which has absolutely nothing to do with the Doordash algorithm. There could have just been a commercial on CBS, because everybody watches CBS. You know, now in the past, there could have been a major sporting event on a network. There could have been a great show like Survivor or something that was extremely popular. Nobody watches network television anymore. Nobody watches all these different things. I mean, there's just so many options, and you're kind of streaming on demand. You know, in 2026, there is a perfectly logical explanation. There are numerous advertising opportunities between YouTube and, I don't know, Amazon Prime, wherever you get your content from. They could have put out an advertisement. Also, many times food can be weather related. You know, different food. It could be event related. But on a Monday in early January, there's really not that many events. It's not that cold. It's a moderate temperature. All kidding aside, a lot of food choices are based on events, weather, different things, and of course, advertising, which is crammed down our throat. Just sometimes when I see a particular restaurant 3 or 4 times in a particular shift or more, like I've been to Culver's 3 times now in 3 hours, that's a little excessive compared to all the restaurants that we have, all the options we have in town, especially the fact that I actually intentionally went and sat by the other burger place for literally 10 minutes and never got an order. Interesting. Alright, now we have one of them upside down orders. $8.75, and we will be going 11.9 miles. Again, I look at the law of averages, that as long as the majority of your orders are positive, then there's no need to freak out over that one random one that is upside down. As long as the majority of your dollars are decent orders, $6, $7, $8 orders, occasional $10, $12 order, then there's no need to quibble about a $2 order. Now, if you get 4 or 5 $2 orders without any tip back behind it, yeah, that's a legitimate gripe. If you get multiple orders where you're constantly driving say being paid $6, $8 for driving 10, 12, 14 miles. You get 3 or 4 of those back to back. Yes, you have a gripe. For the most part, I accept nearly every order. There's the occasional order that just does not make any sense, where I'm driving 25 miles for whatever dollar amount. Now, there is one time I did go to Indianapolis. It was like a downtown Indy for 25 or 30 miles or something like that. Ridiculous amount of mileage. But it was for $50 or $60 or something. I looked at it, I'm like, it was the middle of the day. It wasn't late at night. It was middle of the day. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, you have to balance out how much money do you want to make per hour with whatever gig that you're doing. It doesn't matter. How much money do you want to make per hour? If they're going to pay you that much per hour, regardless of the distance, now then you also do need to figure in your gas money. But we all know that cars are more fuel efficient on the highway. So if it's all highway miles, then aren't you making more money than if you were in town going, 2 miles between every stop? So we just picked up from Mozzi's Pizza. The pizza was all ready and everything. I was almost walked out there without double checking it, and it would have been missing a drink, which would have been crazy because I hardly ever miss things. But they just kind of shoved it at me, and they were ready to close. I bet they close at 9 o'clock. They're under new ownership, and their hours are really strange. So this order is, once I picked it up from Mozzi's Pizza, it said 23 minutes to get to the drop-off location. Now, if it was $8.75, let's just call it $9 to make it easy. Or we could call it $8.75 is what it is. But that would be, if it was legitimately 30 minutes and we did that again, duplicated it, then that winds up being what, $17.50 an hour? And what did we want to make tonight? $15 an hour. A little bit more than $15 an hour. So that matches that. The majority of the miles are going to be driven at 50 miles an hour. Once we get out of town here, once we get past our stoplights roughly now, I've got 2-3 more stoplights that I'm passing. And so about 18 minutes to go, we're going to wind up hitting maybe 2 or 3 stoplights or stop signs. The rest of it's all going to be driven 50 to 60 miles an hour. But on the flip side, if you want to make $20 an hour, if you want to make $22, $25, $30 an hour, if you're so focused into that, then no, this is not a good order for you. If you are in a poor gas mileage vehicle like my old truck, then no, this is not a good order. You don't want to get those upside down long mile orders if you are not fuel efficient. You have to think about all these things. One thing that brings up another point. One thing that I thought of early on is maintenance plus mileage. And whatever that number is for you, every vehicle is different. You can Google your make and model and year of your vehicle and ask, what is the fuel efficiency of it? What is the proposed maintenance for it? Basically, how much money should you be spending on maintenance for that vehicle, etc. You can find out that information pretty readily. So I did that early on to figure out, and then I would figure in the gas prices, I would figure in what I needed for maintenance, just figure out, or you could just do actual brass tacks numbers, how much, like if you change your own brakes, if you change your own oil, different things like that, how much does it cost you, time, money, and effort to do those things? but mostly the time, mostly the money aspect of it. How much does that cost you? Then you break that down into an actual mile number. Okay, are you following me? So you break that down into an actual mile number. That's how much it costs you to operate your vehicle on a per mile basis. So if your number to operate your vehicle, if you have a poor gas mileage vehicle that needs a lot of maintenance, and even if it's small dollar maintenance, like an older vehicle, let's say, if your number is like 50 cents per mile, which is kind of crazy, but if it honestly costs you 50 cents per mile, then you have to figure that in. If it only costs you 10 cents per mile, kind of mentally figure that in on those things. So if you are at, say, more than 20 cents, 20, 30 cents per mile, that needs to be a focus for you on these high mileage orders or upside down orders where you're only getting 80, 90 cents per mile, but yet 30 cents is going to your fuel and maintenance. Buddy, you're only getting 60 cents a mile. Now you equate that to your hourly rate, and then you're able to kind of mentally calculate on the fly how much it costs you to operate and how productive it is for certain runs, certain drives. Like if it was a 10-mile order and I knew that it cost me, $2 off the top on gas and fuel and maintenance and everything, it was a $9 order, so now I'm at $7. It's no longer a $9 order. Now I whack off, wrong terminology. Alright, so $9 for 10 miles. Let's say $2 goes straight towards fuel and maintenance, so now I'm at $7 for the 10 miles. Now, how long does it take me to do the 10 miles?
Turn left onto State Route 234.
Do I get an order on the back end of it? If I'm going into the city, I might. If I'm going straight north into farmlands or another small town that does not have any Doordash opportunities, then that's 10 miles there, which is probably close to 20 minutes, and then 20 minutes back. So now that's 40 minutes of my time for $7. Are you nuts? Part of that discussion, that was an $8.75 order for going 11 miles. It took us 23 minutes to get here. It's going to take us 23 minutes to get back home to be able to get another order. So is that really worth it? Is it not? It all depends on you. However, it becomes highly more profitable when the customer gives you a $10 cash tip. Now it's $18.75 for 11 miles. Would you take that order now? Absolutely. Before we even got into town, we got an order for a Chipotle restaurant. $5.75 for 3.5 miles. We're probably close to 3 miles away from it. So it's going to be right around the corner from the restaurant. Probably an apartment, maybe a hotel. And another thing that I like about these orders that ping me before I get back into town is that by the time I get there, if it takes me 3, 4, 5 minutes to get there, the order's going to be ready. So the order should be ready, and I'm going to have a drop-off right next to the restaurant. It's going to be very easy money. Yes, this is the apartments right behind Chipotle. We just dropped off the Chipotle order. We got an order for Little Caesars right away, $7.25. So that's good. And we had wanted to be at $15. We had wanted to be at $15 per hour, and we are 4 hours into our evening. So that means we should be at $60. We are currently at $69 with DoorDash, but we also have a $10 cash tip, so we're at $79, and we just received an order for $7 more. We have to turn around because we got another order. Los Vaqueros restaurant, again, $6.25, going I think about a mile and a half, so by the time we get to the restaurant, we're going to be nearly to the customer. So I wonder if it's going to be the same neighborhood that we just dropped off the other order from Little Caesars Pizza. We just dropped off that order. We got another order for Atomic Wings, $7.25, going 7 miles. So we'll take that. And we have not turned down an order yet tonight. We are well on our pace for $100 tonight, for $1,000 this week, and for $50,000 this year. If you are enjoying this, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. But if you want to follow us on this $50,000 journey, hit that subscribe button. We will be putting out videos every single day. Oh, we just picked up from the Atomic Wings, and I have to tell you, that stuff's smelling good. Really, really good. We just got an order for Arby's, or actually it's two places, I believe. It's $5.51, going 6.6 miles. We've got a little bit of time before we get to Arby's. I think it was Arby's and Panda Express. It wants me to go to Arby's first, but I guarantee you, we're 4 minutes until 10 o'clock. I think if we go to Arby's first and we go to Panda Express... Enter the roundabout and take
the second exit onto West New Road.
Panda Express is going to be closed. So Panda just turned their lights off. So let's see if they'll let us. It looks like they probably will. There's somebody in the drive-thru ordering. So this is the time of night where a lot of places go through the drive-thru. So it's a little extra wait time as we have to wait on other cars or whatever.
Thank you for choosing Panda Express. What can I get started for you tonight?
Yes, I have a Doordash for David. Well, that was easy. Okay, we just got an order going to Subway and Speedway, $6.25 for 6.2 miles. There we go. We are going to Subway. So how did we do today? Now remember, our goal was working 6 hours and making $100. We actually worked 5.5 hours, and DoorDash paid us $33.75. As far as our tips went tonight, we got $77.89 in tips. That brought our total to $111.64. That equals $20.29 per hour. We drove 105 miles. That means our dollars per mile was $1.06 per mile. And as usual, government's going to owe us some tax money. The government's going to owe us some gas money. Sorry about that. And also, thank you so much to PS and also Global REI for subscribing. If you guys are enjoying the content, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And also, if you'd like to join us in this journey that we're having for a year, in 1 year, we're going to make $50,000 here on DoorDash. And you're going to be watching it right here on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button and join us for the journey. Appreciate you all so much, and everybody have a wonderful day. Take care.